Welcome to the Undrafted Uncensored cast of pod. Hosted by Nick Archuleta. Mosted by Colin Zanger. And last but certainly is least, Joseph Goodwin.
Welcome in everyone to the Undrafted Uncensored, a part of the E5280 Sports Network, where I'm thinking I need to become a college football coach and get fired relatively early in my tenure.
Yeah.
Anybody
just
else
be
want to join
like
me?
really good once and then take a job for 10 years and be horrible at it. You're set.
I mean, you could do that in a lot of places. It just depends on how you get fired at some places.
Yeah, take
you know.
Jimbo Fisher, who's just a middle of the road kind of coach, apparently, according to his superiors. They're going to pay him $19.2 million within the next 60 days, and then $7.2 million annually until 2031.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that in the pros too. Look at Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, look at Bobby Bonilla.
Urban Meyer's getting paid still too.
Urban Meyer has entered the chat.
My talent level is not quite to Bobby Bonilla level, so
Nathaniel Hackett, I would like to say hello.
Yes, there you go.
Yep.
You know, there's options. So all you need to do is get hired as the head coach, and then you can take assistant coaching gigs as long as it's not at the same level, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, you get paid twice.
There you go.
Hey, double dipping, ain't nothing wrong with it.
There is if you're eating chips with somebody else. That's gross.
Depends on who you're eating with.
Nope.
Yeah, it depends on who you're with.
If you slobber over my cheese, I am upset.
Good, it's my cheese now.
No, it's not.
I mean, if
I don't know that's all it takes.
Now I know what to do to get my queso.
What do you mean? I'm gonna make you buy the cheese and buy me more cheese.
Oh,
you're buying 3 cheeses at this point.
More queso. Sorry, it's a
debatable.
I don't know. That's nacho cheese, Nick.
Oh,
it wasn't.
You know, it's nacho. I don't know.
Libre.
My brain, 2 trains collided in my head, so we're just gonna go with that now.
You know what's nacho working? Not working.
My
nacho
brain
working.
My cabeza. So I mean, here we go.
You know what's nacho strong suit? Transitions.
Usually they are. Usually I'm pretty on top of it, but the nacho I tried to run with it and I tripped and spilled my cheese.
Nachos.
Hey Nick, what are those tall scooter things that like mall security guards drive?
Segways?
Speaking of segways.
Hey, got him.
Wow.
I want to run the show? I saw that a mile away.
I did too. I just had to go with it. We needed it. So the world is watching because that's the only football game coming tomorrow. Monday Night Football, the Denver Broncos will be in Buffalo, New York. And they're coming off a bye after beating 2 teams, one good and one other team.
And also ran.
They've run the football. They've kind of established. They've started to grow, not just as a team, but as a coaching staff, I think a little bit too. Colin has no choice now at this point. They're middle of the road picking. The Patriots continue to wet the bed every week. Case in point today.
Cardinals won today.
They did.
They did technically win, yeah.
That was pretty surprising, actually.
It's kind of stupid.
What are you guys thinking about tomorrow? I mean, Colin, you are still very angry with this team for not tanking, but
well, I mean, like I said, the games that they really should have lost. I mean, they should have lost the Packers game. They had no reason really to win that Bears game. You go out, they win their Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs, and then they have a bye week to forget about all the good they had done and party probably and celebrate.
Turn down really good trades for receivers that are
Probably.
not worth that much.
I'm guessing in all honesty that the Broncos, come back from this long bye, and they're obviously going to be a bit rusty in my mind. But when they're coming back after a victory on that level of beating the Chiefs and that high, you got to go into Buffalo, who's a pissed off team. And looking back for the Broncos, what the Broncos really need to do is get back to running the ball. That's how they won, these last 2 games really. And Russ, don't turn the ball over. It's really the thing that has beaten the Buffalo Bills this season has been them not taking their opponent seriously. And the Broncos have to rise to the occasion to play this team. I don't know if they have it in them to do that 2 games straight, to play a good opponent 2 games straight, no matter what you think of where the Bills are. And they are on the downturn, it feels like. They're still a much better team than the Broncos. And is this defense really fixed, or is this really a result of seeing 2 teams that don't really run the ball that well right now? I mean, the Green Bay Packers don't run the ball that well, and the Kansas City Chiefs don't run the ball that well either. And yes, they did a good job stopping it. They didn't allow them to. But is the Broncos defense back? Can Patrick Surtain shut down Stephon Diggs? I sure hope he can, because I need Dalton Kincaid, not Stephon Diggs, to go off this tomorrow night. There are ways for the Broncos to win this game, of course. And what we'll see, what we'll learn. I mean, if the Broncos are going to do something, then fine, do it, make a run, but just stop being this middle of the pack bullshit that leads this team to nowhere. That's what I'm sick of. Get off the pot. Yeah, either be shit or get rid, or be the shit.
Yeah, shit or get off the pot. Pick one. Yeah. Right now, we're just sitting on the pot.
You tell them who number 2 works for, all right?
Goddamn right.
And we could be number 2 in the division, because oh my God, the Chargers today. What
was that?
That game was unreal. I don't know. They didn't play in the whole first half.
No.
I mean, I expected the Lions to win, but I didn't expect them to win because the Chargers stopped playing or not play a whole half. And I guess, Chargers are going to Chargers, especially in LA, when you have more fans from the opposing team than your own team.
Yeah. And that's impressive, because there's been a few teams that travel pretty well that you see that. Detroit is not one of those teams where you expect, oh man, we're going to see a whole bunch of Lions fans at this away game today. I'm sure there's plenty of Lions, and especially this year.
I was going to say they are now.
There's a lot of ironic Lions fans too.
Did you see? Yeah,
I'm sure there's a ton of new Lions fans, and because it's LA, they have transplants from everywhere. Nobody's from LA. They all move out there. So I'm sure there's Lions fans. There's more than Chargers fans.
Well, did you see opening weekend in Arrowhead? There were a ton of Lions fans there. Their Lions fans have come out of the woodworks.
Okay. Well, good for them.
I'm telling you, Detroit travels pretty well for their sports teams.
They're stepping up.
At least I guess I should say their main 2, which is hockey and football. I don't know why football is one of their main ones, but they do travel pretty well. I think they just like being the sad fans for so long, and now that they're not the sad fans, they're really spending money going other places to watch the team. So
they've been saving up for
they're showing their faces in public.
I wonder who that is. That sounds awful familiar. Going somewhere else to watch your team play against an opponent. Huh.
Because your team sucks.
That's weird. I feel like somebody's done that before. I can't think of who though.
I'm looking right at Colin for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame Detroit fans for all those years going to watch the team in other places either, not at home, because who would want to support what the franchise had done for all those years? That franchise had driven them into the ground, consistently picking first-round wide receivers who never panned out, never picking offensive linemen to help out Matthew Stafford. I mean, never really getting a team together. They always just, Al Davis did, and just best athlete available type of thing. That's all they did for years and years and years. They didn't build a team. So yeah, I would have paid money to go see a team if I was Detroit in their stadium at Ford Field.
Plus, Detroit's just terrible from what I understand anyway.
Oh,
Yeah, what else are you going to do in Detroit? Yeah.
Even though I still have to.
You can murder. That's what you're going to do. Or 10 to 20.
Yeah.
20 to life.
I hear that 8 Mile area is a great place to go.
Yeah.
In 8 Mile, I hear that's a great place to be.
I heard the spaghetti's
if you
awesome.
had one shot, like left in your gun.
Don't aim it at your groin.
No.
Plaxico. That was New York, though.
Joe, what do the Broncos need to do to walk out of Buffalo with a dub?
Get a lot of turnovers. Like Buffalo, they've had a problem scoring points the past few weeks. They've kind of been steadily declining in that aspect because they don't have a power running game to really force it in. So Josh Allen is the running back, which I don't totally understand. Like, they've got Latavius Murray, who is a bruiser of a running back. They have maybe their offensive line is just terrible and can't run block to save their lives. That's got to be part of it. And the offensive scheme too, not really dialing up a lot of power runs. So James Cook just gets swallowed and Josh Allen has to win and be ridiculously special. But I feel like this is going to be one of those weeks where Buffalo really bounces back and figures it out. I don't know, man. It's every week it feels like the Broncos are going to need some kind of miracle. And, last couple of weeks they've gotten it. At least from the Packers game, it was just a boring ass game and they couldn't do anything. So therefore the Broncos did a little more. And then the Chiefs game, you just run the ball, keep Mahomes off the field. Mahomes didn't look great. He was definitely hazy with the flu, and they got a bunch of turnovers. So I think that's your best bet is you have to win the turnover battle. But I don't know, man. Like, winning this game feels like one of those horrible play calls that happens to work, and then your play caller it just keeps doing that same stupid shit because it happened to work once when it shouldn't have. And like, winning this game worries me more than losing this game. Like, I'd be sort of excited because they beat the Chiefs and the Bills back to back, but there's no way that it's not going to feel like Drew Lock beating Houston or, Drew Lock beating Carolina or Drew Lock. No, I'm kidding. But like, I don't know, man. I'll root for a win, but because at this point, fuck it. Who cares? They feel kind of like similar teams. The Bills are just obviously in a way better position because they have the quarterback and they have the receiver, but it kind of feels like two teams that should be running the ball better, that have middling to good defenses that can give up a lot of points in a given Sunday or show up and be badass. It just feels like the Bills are a little bit better, and they have somewhere to go. They have somewhere to climb to get really into playoff shape, which the Broncos, I mean, if they manage to make the playoffs, what the fuck are they going to do? They're going to lose in the first round, and then they're just going to be sad, and it's going to be terrible. So yeah, I get turnovers. That's the way to win. Pretty much any game in the NFL, you win the turnover battle, you win the game.
I mean, when you're looking at this and really what's happened in the last few weeks, I mean, Russell Wilson hasn't gone over 200 yards since the Bears game, and no one is saying that the Bears defense is any good. That was his first 3 TD game in I don't know how long, and then he gets 3 TDs against the Chiefs on 114 yards passing. How that's possible? Like, okay,
because you run the ball.
You get it down to the 1 and then you stop running the ball, whatever.
Exactly. You just run. It's the 52 toss.
Like, Russell Wilson has less passing yards than the Baltimore Ravens do rushing yards on the season. Like,
That's awesome.
Like, literally, and the Bears, the Browns, the Dolphins are less than 100 yards off in rushing yards behind where Russell Wilson is for passing on the season.
Oh my God.
So just give him one more week. They'll catch up.
Yeah, I mean, because Devon Achane is supposed to be back for Miami next week. So it's
Colin
just
has Achane on his
when you're
fantasy
looking,
team. He's very excited about this.
And on all of them, I called him from like before the season started that he was going to be a breakout. Him and Sam Laporta, I was all over it, and I hit on both of those guys.
Nice.
So
I had Achane in our league for a little bit, and then I released him because I needed depth or something. I probably kept Jerry fucking Judy or something stupid like that. But I had Achane on my roster for like a week, like week 2 maybe. Definitely wasn't week 3. We know what happened then.
Yeah, because I picked him up then. I was like, I knew that that was when he was going up against the Broncos, and I was almost played him that week, but I didn't. But to digress, back to the Broncos. I mean, the Broncos are winning because of the ground game and because they're winning the turnover battle. And you mentioned Josh Allen and their turnovers. Josh Allen has started games slow as of late. And the whole Bills team they haven't gotten off to good starts. I mean, they ended up losing the game to the Patriots, but they were down early to the Patriots because of turnovers by Josh Allen early. They were in the red zone twice, I want to say, and he threw picks. So you got to take advantage of that and hopefully get, a defense special team score, at least put you close to the end zone, because if Russell Wilson decides to throw over 200 yards, you're probably in trouble. Because that means he's getting picks, and you also have to stop the pressure on Russ for the Broncos. I mean, once again, going back that Chiefs game, Russ was sacked 6 times, and he still threw 3 touchdowns on 114 yards. Like, those don't add up to winning stats. The only thing
the sacks and the 114 yards add up pretty good.
Yeah. Actually, those do add up. And really, when you look back at that game and you say, well, yeah, the Broncos won it, but it's a lot more of the Chiefs losing it and not having it that game. Because I don't know the last time a quarterback got sacked 6 times, threw for under 125, and won a game. Like, it can't. There can't be.
It boggles the mind.
Many out there that's ever happened, besides possibly like a Tebow type team,
or like the 2015 Broncos.
Like, it's kind of crazy to see that. So, yeah, it's possible. I don't know. I mean, I'm not putting.
Sanchez had a game like that with the Jets.
Sacked 6 times. They had a good offensive line. I don't think.
Yeah, he had a pretty decent line.
That's true. Yeah. My guy DeBrickashaw. Anyway,
I am sweating this. Okay, so Monday Night Football is going on. I put some money on. No touchdowns for the whole game.
Really?
Yeah. Dude,
it's dumb as that sounds.
Plus 3,500.
That's beautiful.
And we're getting close. We're getting close to halftime. And then I put put something on the side. I had some money on either the defense is scoring a touchdown, which would net me like $200 either way. So I'd make some money either way, but the real money comes from no touchdowns being scored in this game.
Dude, that is pure like bubble guts.
Yeah,
like your stomach has to be just grinding itself right now.
Yeah, it's just like, all right, clock, keep ticking, keep running the ball.
They start crossing the 50, and you're just like, no.
No. Damn. Because I could see no offensive touchdown being not quite plus 3,500, but no touchdowns entirely.
Yep.
But like, I think you're on point. Like the way the touchdowns are gonna who do we trust? Aiden O'Connell or Zach Wilson? The answer is C, none of the above.
And that's why I also put that defensive touchdown in there, because I figure if there's going to be a touchdown in this game tonight, it's from one of the defenses. I mean, Zach Wilson almost got one. He was running it into the end zone, foot out at the 3-yard line, and then they got back-to-back penalties that pushed him back to field goal. It was beautiful. It was great. I was like, well, so much for that one.
Was either of them a delay of game from Nathaniel Hackett?
No,
there was a holding and no, there was a delay of game in there. No, maybe it wasn't a delay of game. I know there was a holding.
Okay.
But yeah. So
Here's how this is going to go down, Colin. It's going to be 3rd and 2. The Jets are looking to just
gonna
pick
bring
up
a
2
blitz.
yards.
Oh.
Nope. But they're going to pass because attack it. So he drops back. Here comes Crosby. Knocks the football out of Wilson's hands. Scoop and score.
Fumble sack.
Okay. No, I told you I put money down on the defense to score a touchdown too. So I mean that makes me
Well,
200 also.
I'm trying to help you.
No,
Yeah,
they don't have
that's-
Chandler
that's
Jones
what
to
I
do that
predict.
anymore, Nick.
Once in a while you gotta throw him a little love still.
That works.
Who's gonna
Just
run
I
it
mean
back?
that works for me also. But speaking of defense too, I think that the Broncos better watch out. I think Vaughn had this game circled. The missed tackle at the end of last week.
I was just gonna ask about him.
He's had an off game, but he's ramped up for this game. And the comments about Denver always being his home, and
he'll always be a Bronco, always saying we.
Yeah.
Still referring to the Broncos as we and us. Oh
This
yeah,
is the Von Miller Bowl.
It's gonna be nice to see Vaughn play again. It's always fun to watch him play when he's healthy. This is like his 3rd week back though, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you're right. It's
Second,
it hasn't been long.
He's been back for the.
Does
he have a sack yet? I don't think he does.
No, the other day he didn't record any stats at all. It might have been the last 2 games.
I mean, that's about where he's at too in his career. Not to be mean to him, but I mean he's that DeMarcus Ware type guy at this point in that defense to help them try and win. Obviously, it's not helping because the Bills have yet to make it to the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, but Nick, DeMarcus Ware in certain situations was a game wrecker.
Yeah,
and they probably didn't. Von Miller probably didn't think that he was going to need to be a game wrecker or really an impact on a game in the game last week.
Well, DeMarcus was paid for the end result too. He was the piece the Broncos needed to put that entire defense finally solidify it together and get that Super Bowl win.
And that's a very different situation too, because DeMarcus Ware is not coming off of an ACL tear last season around this same time. So I think Von Miller is going to be slow all year. I think next year is really when you kind of see old man Von Miller starting to kind of look like, the Von Miller version of DeMarcus Ware, because he'll have had time to recover that knee and get that explosiveness back. Because obviously he won't be quite as fast, but as long as he can have that anticipation and get those pass rush moves, oh, look at that dog. He's a dog. Von Miller's just going to have to be a dog.
Yeah, there you go.
I like
nice.
that.
He's going to have to scrape, and he's going to have to bull rush because he's not going to have that speed. Or maybe his knee isn't totally ready to bull rush either. He just has to, go into his bag of tricks and, pull out some Dwight Freeney spin moves or some, DeMarcus Ware fake spin moves.
I mean, if there's anyone that he should be able to get some sacks on, it should be this Broncos offensive line.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know I was going into the sacks earlier, and I wanted to get here before I talked about sweating this Sunday night football game. But yeah, I mean, this offensive line is prime for him to have a showing.
Yeah. So here's my thought. I mean, he's 1 year away from, I think, being able to be released by the Bills. I think they're coming up on an option here pretty soon. How Denver Broncos would it be for them to go pick up Vaughn after he's been released because he's past his prime, coming off probably another injury of some sort, and plug him into the lineup? That sounds very Denver Broncos right now, doesn't it?
I mean, kind of, but I mean, it would depend on the deal, because if it's a short-term deal and he's not getting paid a ton, so he's not hurting the team, and we just get the farewell tour of Von Miller, I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah.
But I don't want him to take too much playing time away from Browning and Benito, because they're coming in and playing very well. I think he'd be a great mentor. He would come in and play that DeMarcus Ware kind of role, and he would end up being that third pass rusher, hopefully, that Shaq Barrett of that group. That's the only way I would really be okay with seeing that. But again, the Broncos, they're not going to be in a spot, I think, to really be able to capitalize off of that. Maybe if they can get the quarterback situation figured out, but I sincerely doubt it. So you're just kind of looking at another guy, selling tickets, maybe getting a couple sacks, hopefully. But
well, and I think if Vaughn were to be coming back here, he'd obviously be in that mentorship role, that DeMarcus Ware type role that he saw. But he'd also be coming back to show those younger guys or tell those younger guys what it's like. Like, that's the type of winning experience the Broncos want. That's the type that they need, not how to, win a game that the other team isn't really up to play you for. Yeah. When you're a Passover team, team or a team that they're just, don't care about. So Vaughn can bring that type of stuff. And I think that would be his time to come back. And I think he understands that.
Everybody knows.
It seems that he understands that. So
everybody,
I would love to have him back, but also when you look back at, we talked about the Chandler Jones. It was Chandler Jones,
Von Miller, Hassan Reddick, who ended up being the best one.
Yeah.
And I believe.
Who the hell are we missing?
Yeah, it feels like there was another guy.
JJ
Watt. It was JJ Watt.
No. He
got traded to the Cardinals. Yeah. There was probably somebody. But yeah, Hassan Reddick, Chandler Jones, and Von Miller. Those were the big three that were coming off of good sack seasons. Huh?
The Broncos.
Oh, Randy
Gregory. Yeah. I'm like,
he didn't count. He wasn't one of the big ones.
Well, he was part of the three. He was part of the three that were, because I think Gregory ended up getting the second highest contract. It went Chandler Jones, Randy Gregory, and then Von Miller. Those were the three that were talked about for the free agents in that class, free agents for that year. And I mean, none of those guys have panned out for what they were brought in for to this point.
Okay.
I mean, obviously Vaughn still has a chance, but the other two, well, they're not on the teams anymore, so they didn't pan out. 2 out of 3.
Gregory's never started a full season, and the Niners just got their first win with Randy Gregory on the roster. They had to trade for Chase Young to do it.
They demolished Jacksonville today.
Yeah, they did.
Wow, Jacksonville! I thought
they were angry today. They were playing angry.
I misread that game completely.
I think everybody did.
The San Francisco 49ers won a game without Christian McCaffrey scoring.
Mm-hmm.
That in itself is,
that's kind of like streak. That's like I don't know. Maybe San Francisco should stop handing the ball to Christian McCaffrey to win games.
Give me predictions for Mom.
Nope. Because that's part of victory formation. It's Monday Night Football. What do you expect?
I know, but you can still give a prediction.
There will be 60 minutes of football played.
Fine, I'll wait for it.
How about we do this? Who wins the turnover battle?
Well, that's the team that's going to win the game, most likely.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. I say Denver.
I mean, just because we make the picks now doesn't make too much of a difference. We're going to pick other games too.
I got some over-underers for you guys.
All right.
There you go. Well, then, if you get over-underers, then we can totally pick
battle
who's
is the
going to
first one.
We'll wait till victory formation then. We'll play nice.
I know, but we can do over-unders on this game. All right, over-under on sacks for Russell Wilson. Denver, Joe?
I said Denver wins the turnover battle.
Over-under on sacks for
Russell Wilson? Turnover battle first.
Oh, I mean, whoever wins the game probably is who's going to win the turnover battle.
Oh my God, Joe! Why?
I don't know. Like, the Broncos have to, but I don't know if they actually get the turnovers.
I think they can. I think they can force a couple fumbles.
Buffalo has a decent secondary. Yeah, I'll say Buffalo.
I am going with Buffalo too, because I don't believe Russell Wilson can save himself from throwing interceptions in prime time. Over under on sacks for Russell Wilson at 3.5.
Oh, that's not even a question.
Under.
Over.
I'm gonna go under. That's a big money maker.
I mean, it was so last few games, 6 sacks against the Chiefs, 1 against the Packers, 4 Chiefs, 4 Jets, 1 Bears.
Yeah, that tracks. Who's the Packers' best pass rusher?
Was Zadarius White probably
Zadarius Smith,
or Smith? Right?
who plays for I believe Chicago.
Was traded after.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Zadarius started the year, not with the Packers. They lost both Preston Smith and Zadarius Smith.
That's right.
It's Rashawn Gary, but
Gary,
they don't have anyone very good.
No, I was like, hold on.
I was going to go with go ahead, I'll wait, but you actually had some names. Zadarius, I'm pretty sure is in Chicago this year.
No, you're right. I thought
he's not in Green Bay.
But yeah, the Packers did trade away one of their pass rushers at the trade deadline too. I thought so, or maybe it was their cornerback they traded away. Oh, did they trade away?
Zadarius plays for Cleveland. That's part of the reason their pass rush is so good.
Yeah.
It's Zadarius on the other side of Myles Garrett. That makes a lot more sense.
So yes, your Knicks under. Joe, you said over.
Oh yeah. They're going up against better pass rushers.
Going along those lines of Russell Wilson and turnovers. I'm gonna go over too. Jerry Jeudy yards 55.
Over.
I was with Tre'Davious White on him. No, I'm going under.
You don't think he's on Cortland? The
He won't
touchdown
have to,
machine.
I was thinking he was going to cover Cortland.
I don't know. I feel like Cortland has had some really good catches and good games, but you don't need a guy like Tre'Davious White to cover Cortland. You just need somebody that can jump.
Put a body on him.
Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure Hyde or Poyer, whoever's healthy between the two of them, if either one of them is healthy, I bet he would beat Duron Harmon.
So you're saying over?
No, I said under.
Oh, under. Okay. I'm going over, and I got one more. Broncos rushing touchdowns. Over or under? Man, I kind of just want to do a half of it. Yeah, over or under a half. Do they rush one in?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Over on
they
that.
They have to get one in.
Yeah, the rushing.
Yeah, it'll be an accident, but they'll get one.
Oh man!
Jaleel McLaughlin from out back, Russell Wilson on a bootleg, just running it in.
P. Ryan just somehow, some way finds a hole.
Yeah, P. Ryan or Javonte just falls in.
If I go to 1.5, you guys go under though.
Under.
That's tougher.
Yeah, 1.5.
I feel like just because I hope the Broncos understand that's their best chance to win is running the football a lot. I would hope over, but who fucking knows, man?
I think I'm gonna go under. I don't think they rush one in. I think it's Russell Wilson trying to shine on prime time, and he'll try and steal the show.
And it rhymes.
Hey, look at that! All right.
You know what else?
Got enough pick'ems? Go ahead.
I like rhymes with prime because we're gonna move up to Boulder now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna touch on this real quick.
I don't want to move to.
I'm gonna be that guy. I don't care. Their fate's been decided. They're not going to a bowl game.
No.
Especially after you lose a game you should have won on Saturday. There was no excuse for losing that game. And
no, there was.
I mean, obviously it shows your glaring holes. We've all been talking about it since about week 4. The Buffs started their season other than TCU with weaker opponents, and it's just been downhill from there.
I think TCU counts as weaker opponents. They haven't done shit this year.
Yeah, that's true.
They lost a lot of their best players from last year, so that's what happens when you're a team like TCU. You don't have the farm system that Alabama and Georgia, and Ohio State. You don't have the Stallions that Michigan has.
No, because you're Horned Frogs.
The guy from Michigan, his name is Connor Stallions.
Oh yeah,
the guy stealing all the signs.
Yeah, I forgot about that. My bad.
Nice. I didn't know that was his name.
No way. His name is Stallions. It's awesome.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know if Stallions is Italian or not, but we're just going to say that he is.
He should have been Josh McDaniels' cameraman.
He
might have been.
Was.
It's probably why he got caught.
Yeah, he got caught. Yeah,
we don't know he wasn't.
Yeah, it's over. You know what, Nick? I mean, we got no one to blame but CSU. It's your team's fault for giving the blueprint.
Yep, they set the blueprint.
Yeah, and you're happy about it. I see that. You know, we could have had good college football in Colorado again, but your damn
next
CSU
year.
Rams had to come in and
my Rammies are putting it together too.
Tell teams how to beat. Are they going to be bowl eligible?
I think it was Nebraska.
You're not really putting it together until you're bowl eligible.
Yeah. No, I feel like Nebraska really put that formula forward because they're a defensive team. All of a sudden, after blowing out TCU, Nebraska held them to, was it 21 or 4, something in the teens?
It was low. Yeah, I think it was like 19. Was it like 19-14 or something stupid?
Yeah, they showed that you can really a staunch defense and blitzing is going to make it harder for Shedeur to function because we have no offensive line here in Boulder since we moved to Boulder, and that's where we are now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I agree in a way, but I think more of what CSU did was the physical part of their game really got into the minds of CU, and they really took them off of their game.
Like they expected that from Nebraska, they didn't expect it from CSU.
Yeah, and that's where I think I guess I put it more on CSU than I do Nebraska because you're right, they expect that from Nebraska, but they really. I mean, they just played solid defense. But they weren't getting up in their face like CSU was. I mean, CSU was
getting in their kitchen.
Yeah, so
and I loved it. I mean, they needed to. That needed to happen for both programs, though. The Rams needed it to show they can still play with the big boys, and the Buffs needed it because they needed a reality check.
Keep telling yourself that, Nick. Thanks for ruining college football in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
My Rammies are 4-6 right now. They got 2 games left.
Could be bowl eligible.
I know one's Hawaii.
Not going to be.
The other's Nevada.
Hawaii's bad.
No, Hawaii would be Air Force.
We could probably win that one. I don't know.
Air Force just lost to Army last week. Let's not act like Air Force is on a tear anymore.
Well, they were on a tear. They're still a very good team.
They lost their mojo.
They sputtered a couple weeks ago, and they're coasting into the finals of the season now because.
Well, they know that they're done. That there's no chance.
Yeah.
Even if it had gone undefeated, it still would have been a tall order to make the college football playoffs. Like next year, if they go undefeated, they'll have a legitimate shot because there'll be 12 teams.
Well, yeah, but
in the playoffs, which I think is way too many. I totally think the playoffs needed to expand, but 12 from 4, that seems like a lot. But whatever, we'll have some fun games of some teams that don't deserve to be there. And then we'll get some ridiculous blowouts when those teams play Georgia.
I mean, Air Force could have at least had one of those prime time New Year's Day bowls or whatever, though. Like that's really more of what it was about. I think they knew that they weren't going to get into any sort of national championship discussion. Like they'd be in the talk because if they went undefeated.
But I don't see them getting past, if they're going to get ranked, they're not going to get ranked past probably 17.
I mean, I'm going to look this up. I don't know when the last time a service academy team had a primetime one of those big bowls, Orange Bowl. Fiesta,
I mean, I know Air Force did win a national championship in the 90s, I think, because they went undefeated. And but that might have been when there was 3 national championships, so it might have been the other national championship or something too.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, I don't know.
I feel like it had to have been Air Force. I mean, maybe Army and Navy at some point, but I feel like it had to have been a long time ago, and it probably
won the WAC in 85, 95, and 98. 98, 15, 15, 21, they became Mountain West. Conference championship game, they won the WAC championship game in 98. They lost the Mountain West championship game to San Diego State in 15.
Well, and I'm not even just talking Air Force. I mean, I'm talking Army,
I know, but
Navy.
I already had Air Force pulled up.
Yeah.
Like
Cotton Bowl, Gator Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Hall of Fame, Independence, Blue Bonnet, Freedom, Liberty Times 4, Copper, Las Vegas, Oahu, Silicon Valley, San Francisco, Armed Forces times 3, Independence, Military Bowl, Armed Forces again, the Idaho Potato Bowl.
okay, we're going back far enough.
Arizona, Cheez-It, First Responder, and Armed Forces. Those are the bowl games they've been to.
So you said Orange Bowl and Cotton Bowl.
Cotton Bowl in 58.
Sick.
Yeah.
Big deal right there.
I don't know, the Idaho Potato Bowl.
Nope. So yeah, I think it would be it would have been a cool story. It'd be a cool story if any of the Service Academy teams was in one of those primetime games. I mean, it just would have been better if it was Air Force, especially for us.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the one. That's the one that we like.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
it's
our
got the
school.
Shanahan roots.
That's our school.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I feel, Hawaii played well against them. So I don't know if how much of a chance CSU really. It's weird. CSU played Air Force. Air Force
Air Force
beat them 30.
Destroyed them, didn't they?
They beat them 30-13. CSU just kind of.
Yeah. So
that was the week. Wasn't that the week after?
That was the snowy game.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
not the week after.
Yeah, I was working that game. That's the one where I got to read the legal IDs live on the radio because
Nice.
I had no other choice. So I definitely did an impression of the 104 through the fan guy. I was like, "This is KKFN HD2."
Oh man, I don't know. I'm glad they've picked it up. I can't wait till I get my winnings at the end of the season for the Buffs winning more than 3 games.
You got it by 1.
Yeah, that's all I cared about. A team that's not winning right now is the Colorado Avalanche. That is a very, very flat team right now. I don't know what happened. I expected this version of the team to be the first 6 games, and that now this is the Avalanche that has started to gel and play together because last night's game, I couldn't even finish watching it.
They're not very good right now. They really aren't. And then, this was one of my worries last year too. I mean, Francois is out for the season again.
Yeah.
Frank, never mind.
Yeah. Hopefully my dog formerly known as Frank doesn't go out for any time.
Change his name to Pavel.
No. Oh my god, that would be so uppity. I would have to move to Rhino and go to coffee shops all day.
Every week we're gonna change your dog's name to something else relevant to the show.
Hey, as long as you're getting the pumpkin spice.
Here's Colin's dog, the victory formation.
This is the Frankie injury sucks.
Yep.
It's one of those things that I know I've harped on for a while, is that he's never been able to stay healthy. Last year he was relatively healthy, which was good for the team. But now, I mean, it's all on Georgie's shoulders for the rest of the season. I mean, the Avs make a trade at the deadline to actually bring in a goaltender who, I don't know if Georgie has it in the playoffs. I think last year was a weird microcosm to tell if the Avs are going to be any good in the playoffs or not. Oh man, thank you everyone for commenting. Sorry.
Like Clayton's, I didn't see Clayton that. Said that. Clayton's sending 28-14 Broncos tomorrow. I like it.
I missed those comments earlier, but
they just came across.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Clayton. Appreciate it. But I'm worried about the Avs and their backup and what they're going to do at the trade deadline, because this team screams to me that they need to bring in people at the deadline and make some moves and make some tough moves. So
yeah. So I didn't realize my brother had posted on the Facebook stream the other day when we were recording, and he brought up a question that I guess DMAC had brought up, and should the Avs give the C to somebody else?
No. No, Landeskog is the captain. The C means so much more in hockey than any other sport. Like, you can't just get like we talked about it last week with potentially getting Sidney Crosby. Like, you're not going to give him the C, you're going to give him one of the A's, because he would absolutely earn that. But you don't just make a guy or like give it to McKinnon, I guess, is the only candidate.
I would say Kale.
It's kind of like
Kale's too young. I feel like you want the captain needs to be that older vocal leader, and Nathan McKinnon's a fucking psychopath. Like, putting somebody else as captain above him, I think kind of sends a message that, like, we don't think he's capable of doing it. And like, that would be that. I feel like he has to have, and maybe he decides he doesn't want it and he turns it down, but that would have to come from Nathan McKinnon. But yeah, no.
I think I feel like the captains are kind of like family heirlooms. I mean, it's passed down when you have a real captain. I mean, when you look back at oh my goodness, why am I blanking on his name?
Hayduk?
No, not the
what?
Oh, idiot young guy, Duchesne.
Oh yeah.
Idiot young guy. Well, yeah, I know, that's what really got me. I was like, he was a big. Oh yeah, Duchesne. He was a big Duchesne. Like, Duchesne got it way too young. He wasn't ready. He wasn't prepared. That team needed a leader, an older one. I think the only way that you give it to someone is with like Landeskog's blessing. And I think if it's really anybody on the ice, it's usually not. I don't want to say it's usually not your best player, but it's one of those guys who all around is one of the better ones. And I think it would be like a Mikko Rantanen type of guy, because Mikko is one of those guys who gets in there, fights, scraps, does all the stuff, much like Landeskog does, because you don't want a guy like McKinnon going in there as your captain, standing up for your players getting hit. You don't want a guy like Makar going in there and getting injured. But Mikko, it's not that he's not important, but he's built to be able to do something like that. And Landeskog, and that's what Landeskog, has been able to do and survive for years and take that beating. And Mikko can do that. But I think it's only if it's passed down from Landeskog. Like, you don't lose your C in hockey typically.
No, you definitely don't. I'm fine with not having a C until Landeskog comes back. That's totally cool. And yeah, I would be more okay with Mikko than Makar, probably, or McKinnon, honestly. I just feel like because if it was go to the best player, it's Makar. That's like hands down, regardless, that's who it would be if you're going just for the best player. But I feel like McKinnon is more of that leader. But yeah, Mikko is definitely more of like a example leader, a quieter kind of guy that would totally work out. But I don't want to see another C until Landeskog retires or goes to a different team. And we're going to hope for retirement.
Yeah.
Knocking on wood.
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree. There's, like you guys said, there's too much behind it in tradition and all those other aspects that hockey is different when it comes to that C. In the NFL, you can slap a C on anybody's chest at this point. Nobody cares.
Have different captains every week.
Yeah. Yeah. They pretty much pick every week. Yankee tradition. Yeah. Aaron Judge is the captain right now.
But baseball's not really a captain sport.
No, but he hasn't quite settled into the role either yet. He still has a little bit of learning to do. I mean, you look at Jeter and how he led. That's quality captain right there. That's, Michael Jordan-esque, where, it's all about winning, and he set that precedent.
But also, who thinks of Derek Jeter as a team captain? Nobody. He's just one of the best baseball players ever and one of the best leaders of one of the best teams, in the history of sports.
But he was still a captain because he led that team. He set the example. He continued that Yankee way, the Yankee tradition, and he put fires out that we probably don't even know about.
Oh, probably. Yeah. But I think it's about the captain is so much more impactful in hockey.
Yeah.
I don't know if any other example works. Yeah.
Every time. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. You're good.
I was just gonna say, every time you hear it in hockey when it's the start of the game, you're captain. When they're announcing the starting lineup, you're captain. When it was in baseball, it's number 2, Derek Jeter, shortstop. Not captain.
Maybe they say
Derek
captain.
No,
probably not.
Number 2, Derek Jeter.
Yeah, but like that's the difference in hockey is that
Bob Shepard.
the captain part is always announcer.
Yeah.
I mean, in football, Wesley Woodyard was a captain for how many years in a row? It doesn't matter. One of my favorite random Broncos, but I think in hockey it matters so much more. You have to.
It was just a question. I felt bad because he did it on the Facebook page, and I didn't. It never came up on our stream, and so I figured I'd at least throw that at you guys because if we had more time, we could definitely go into much more banter about it. But
it was more fun than talking about the Avalanche losing, so I think it worked out great.
Yes.
Nuggets start their second game or play their second game of this stupid in-season tournament that I don't like. They'll play the Clippers on Tuesday. They'll host the Clippers.
That'll be a fun game.
The Nuggets almost came back tonight. Damn it.
And for those of you that don't know yet, spoiler alert, the Nuggets lost tonight.
I put
$10 on them when they were plus 1,300 down by 8.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, man, whatever.
Well, they only lost by 3.
I know they only lost by 3. They made a little run. So
what's that?
Yeah, but they lost to the Rockets.
Bruce
Brown, the Rockets have been good this year. Bringing in Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks. He's had a quiet, solid year. Asar Thompson is balling out on the defensive end, looking better than his twin brother, who was drafted ahead of him. The Rockets are one of those teams that any given Sunday could come out and beat your team. They're solid. They're kind of like the Sacramento Kings from a couple years ago when they were starting to figure it out, kind of Memphis Grizzlies. Here in the next couple of years, they could be one of those teams to watch out for. Probably less so this year, except for fun surprises.
I was gonna say the Nuggets or the Rockets are one of those teams that got better getting rid of James Harden. Imagine that.
Shocker. You know what? That would probably make my bets better too if I got rid of James Harden. I should stop picking teams that he's playing on.
Hey, Jeff Green was the third leading scorer for.
There you go.
Oh yeah,
tonight.
He's sporting a sweet new haircut. He's got the almost shaved head. So he looks a lot younger, which I think he's on purpose because he's trying to stay in the league.
Hey, if it works, it works, man. 2 for 4 from deep. Look at that.
He's got the goatee. He kind of looks like the Prowler from the Spider-Verse movies.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah. It works out. He has that little bit of hair, but it's not like the giant bald spot and the longer dot job like last year, which I love, but it's better for me.
You know what? Yeah, well, last year I had a bad time with the victory formation, but now I'm doing better. So, Colin, let's jump into it.
Oh, hold on. I was looking at the Prowler from Spider-Verse. I was trying to figure out what he looked like.
I wanted to jump.
This is the victory formation.
All right, boys, here we go. Best play in football. 6 right tight diamond victory on 1. Break.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, it's jam.
The Pick'em segment, proving that Colin Zanker is the most humble man in the history of time. Least. Featuring Nick Archuleta, wishing he was somewhere else. And Joe Goodwin, just kind of winging it.
I'm kind of winging it into the end of this football game. See what happens here.
Whoa!
You're so excited you're going to play it twice.
Yep.
It's a good one.
I just wanted that intro back.
Also, I'd like to thank Ryan Harris for recording that little bit of calling the play of the victory formation. Former Broncos right tackle and left tackle.
No, I found it, Nick. It's good.
Okay. I was just trying to help.
Yeah, I was just on another page. I'm like, okay, I can see what you're talking about with Jeff Green. That would be winning if he can stay in the league just for getting his look down. Hey,
right.
And I do gotta say, I mean, I was pretty humble about losing last week.
You were. We're proud of you.
I'm not angry about it. It's okay.
I don't
Things
know
happen.
that at all.
Sometimes you just stub your toe a little bit.
Broken clocks, right? Twice a day.
Even
every once in a while, I gotta hand you guys some victories so that you feel better about yourselves.
Don't feel like being somewhere else.
Much like the Chiefs giving the Broncos their victory 2 weeks ago at about this time.
Wow. So a charity case. Gotcha.
No, it was earlier in the day.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it was a few. Yeah, daylight savings time.
Yeah.
We fell back. Yep, never mind.
Yeah. No,
Can't
it's
even
8
use
o'clock.
that.
It's 8 p.m. The game was long over. I was there.
Yeah.
I was home by 8 p.m.
No, I was just trying to use well, we sprung forward, so it's technically it was like 7 o'clock last week at this time. I don't know. Yeah, it was long over.
Stop. Too much.
All
Carry the
right.
two.
Well, if we're going to talk about Broncos victories, let's talk about who is coming out victorious in Buffalo on Monday Night Football. Is it the Broncos at plus 260, or the Bills at minus 325? Our Broncos homer wearing his orange and blue glasses. That would be you, Nick, if you didn't know.
Yeah, I think we all know how all three of us are going to vote. For this particular game.
Does Nick think that the Bills fall to the Broncos?
Yes, he does.
I know he wants to.
I don't know. Do they? I don't have my Broncos hat up here, else I'll be wearing it. But go Broncos.
I knew he was going to go with the Broncos earlier. I had a feeling he was going to do that.
Oh, we all knew. That's why I said we could have made our picks.
Bills
then.
were playing down to their competition. They lost to the Patriots. Come on, if they lose to the Patriots, the Broncos can pull this one out.
I mean,
And
the Bills
Belichick is nothing.
The Bills have also already beaten every team that's beaten the Broncos.
I don't mean anything.
I'm going with the Bills.
Broncos
also.
beat the Chiefs twice, or beat the Chiefs once too.
I was like twice.
Right.
I was like in the last 9 years.
Yeah.
Shut up.
We're going for twice in 10
Hell
years.
excited.
Oh, yeah.
I think that the fun phase for the Broncos is over. Well, yes. Bills win. Joe, who you got? And then I got a funny side note.
This is a tough. I'm kidding. I'm taking Buffalo.
Oh, there we go. Did you see what Sean Payton is doing, or did you hear about what Sean Payton is doing out at the Valley or whatever?
Yes, he's painting the Buffalo logo on the
so
practice field to simulate the game.
He actually, I honestly, I'm a big fan of this. I know it sounds stupid, but it's just repetition and having seen it. So he paints the other team's logo at midfield at Dove Valley, or UCF, whatever it is, at the training. So when you're on the field, you can kind of see how things look, and it makes sense to me. And I'm a fan of doing things and making them familiar, even though it's not a familiar environment. Kind of one of those next level type of thinking things that we wouldn't see with past coaching staffs. So credit to Sean Payton where it is due in thinking ahead of the curve, where just doing something simple like that can really help your team be more comfortable. If the Broncos can pass the 50-yard line.
Well, and I'll show my nerd a little bit too. Like when I was in marching band, the field, you have the field set up how it is, and you know where you stand based on a certain spot on the field. It's just like when you line yourself up too. If you're going to line yourself up, how far back you can get if you're on that offensive line before you're going to get called for too many men in the backfield or anything like that.
Yeah.
That it's more comfortable, and I like that they're trying to make the opponent's home feel like their home.
Yeah,
I'm just picturing like the receivers coach being like, "All right, so I want you to run this route 2 yards left of the Buffalo's ass."
Go to the streak in the Buffalo's ass. Go to the sharp line.
Yeah, right in between the hash mark and the ass mark.
Oh, well, speaking of ass, let's go to NBA basketball on Monday night. The primetime game Monday night. Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Sacramento Kings. Cleveland Cavaliers are favorites at minus 135 in Sacktown. Who you got, Joe?
The Bay Area and back down. That's a tough one. That's like the complete opposite, because Cleveland is the defensive juggernaut. They've got the Twin Towers in Mobley and Jared Allen. If Donovan Mitchell's playing, then he can go off for a ton of points. Darius Garland's really good too. Sacramento can just put up points. They score a lot. I don't know. I feel like Cleveland has more. I'm going to take the Cavs.
Oh man, when I was gonna say all the Kings do is score a lot, so all they do is win, 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 no matter what. And I'm going with the Kings.
There you go.
Just because they're home, honestly. That's not the only reason why.
That was going to be my reasoning for it actually was Kings are home.
Makes
Give it to
sense.
the Kings.
So Nick, you said Kings?
Yeah, I'm taking sack.
All right. He's taking the sack, much like Zach Wilson does in every single drop back. Thank you.
And Russell Wilson.
And Russell Wilson. All the
Wilson.
Wilsons in the sacks. All right, then we go to Monday Night Hockey. There's only 2 games, and one was the Islanders and Edmonton, and the other just so happens to be the Avalanche and Kraken. So we're gonna choose between the Avalanche visiting the Kraken.
That sounds like more fun.
At minus 155, the Avs are the favorite. Kraken plus 130
Really?
at home. That's what I said too, and I am going with the Kraken on this. So I think the Avs skid continues, unfortunately, for one more game. Yeah. They play so physical against the Avs, and it's tough for them to respond. So, Nick, you are lucky number 2 on this one.
I mean, I saw that game last week against Seattle. I'm glad this will be the last game they play against them for a while. I mean, Seattle's got something to get Cogsy because they've just been trying to murder that dude. After being completely and utterly embarrassed yesterday, and the fact that they looked like hell against the Kraken last time too, I don't see Bedsy allowing his team to get themselves into a mindset where this is a routine thing. Surprisingly, that I would have thought I was picking the underdog right now, but I'm going to go Avalanche.
No one's surprised by that, Nick.
Homer.
He changed his orange and blue glasses for burgundy blue and a different shade of blue.
So I just pulled up ESPN. The tagline they had for the Jets-Raiders game says, follow live. Jets and Raiders struggling to find the end zone.
Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it, ESPN. You sons of bitches. All right, Joe, who you got? Avs or Kraken?
Yeah, I'm not going to take the Avs until they prove me wrong. They've just been on such a skid recently. And I would love that this is the game that they pull it out and figure it out and beat the team that knocked them out of the playoffs last year. I'd love to see Val Nichushkin get a couple of goals or just one. But until I see it happen, I'm not going to pick it. So like Kenny, I'm going to take the Kraken.
Seattle wins. Well, that wraps up the victory formation then. So we got our 3 picks in. We'll have the results on Wednesday for y'all.
No, not Wednesday.
Yes, Wednesday.
No, I can't Wednesday.
That's okay because we can record Tuesday and this podcast can come out on Wednesday like we talked about.
Shut up.
You're very welcome.
Behind
America,
the scenes,
there's an insight to how we're going to be doing the show on Wednesday and you'll see it happening. It's actually recorded Tuesday.
I know.
Nick just pulled the veil off the cover off of.
I didn't know. That's all you.
You didn't know. We talked about
Tuesday,
it.
So
I was saying I couldn't. I'm excited for my concert. Okay. I'm excited for my concert.
You blew it. Probably like ESPN blew my chances at winning money because they jinxed the damn no touchdowns. Just be a defensive touchdown. That's all I care about.
Either no touchdowns or defensive. Those are all he care about. Oh man. Well, for Colin Zanker, who is intently watching a Jets-Raiders game, and Joe Goodwin, who's still going through Yu-Gi-Oh cards, trying to find the monster.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. I'm Nick Archuleta wearing a Cubs hat just because I wore that hat today. Thanks to Michael Spillin and all the crew over at e5280sports.com for adding our show to their network. And while you're there, don't forget to check out all their other great shows that they have, including The Wheelhouse, which airs on Sundays. Tune into that. Between the Lines, Gridiron Intel, and many, many more. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Without you, we couldn't do this.
Believe in the heart of the cards.
We'll talk to you on Wednesday. You'll see us Wednesday.
We'll see you on Wednesday.
Maybe
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Story of the year. Come find
Probably
me.
not.
Bye. Love you.